and then I go down as further as I can, and then I just bounce. Bounce a little bit, stay in that position, I can move with it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all RipRightHD disciples, YouTubers, and viewers, welcome back to another video on RipRightHD. And today I'll be showing you guys a pre-workout stretch that I do before I get started. Stay tuned, stay ready.
هذا حد العالم، هذا طالب، هذا راسخ والى اخره.
Okay guys, now I'll be showing you guys exactly what I do before I start working out, and I hit certain parts of the body. So sometimes I start with the groin, the hamstrings. I definitely always stretch the wrists, the shoulders, those essential parts, the lower back when it comes to calisthenics. So usually this is my first stretch. I do a couple of these, about 10, stretch the shoulders. I get that started. Sometimes I do swims to get the shoulders going. And then usually I go right into my lower back stretch. Sometimes I do this sitting down or I do it standing up. So now one of the tricks to stretching your lower back to the max is some people can't go all the way down. Like you see, I can lock my legs out and actually go all the way down and then go here, right? You might not be able to. So the furthest you can go down, sometimes you want to bend your knees. If you can't grab your feet, you grab your ankles and you pull in. And if you have a partner, you have them push on your back to try to get here, and then when you get to that point where it's your max, then you try to straighten those legs out to actually get that stretch. And if you notice, when I do this stretch or pre-workout, I usually bounce with it. It's called dynamic stretching. You don't want to do aesthetic stretching before you work out. Aesthetic is when you're in positions for a long period of time. So you want to do the dynamic where you're bouncing, you holding, but not for too long. 10 seconds max. Okay, so usually after that, I had a split at one time, so I lost it. And that's due to lack of stretching when it comes to my split. So I usually use these. I've been working on my split again for the last couple of weeks. So every time before I work out, I've been hitting on my splits. So I usually just step on this, and then I go down as further as I can, and then I just bounce. Bounce a little bit, stay in that position, I can move with it. Trying to get my split back. I'm pretty close. My right side, usually when you're stretching, you have a dominant side, like with pull-ups and other workouts, you realize, my right hand is stronger than my left and things like that. It's like that for me with my stretching. My right side is more flexible when it comes to my hamstrings. So that stretch right there is gonna hit your hamstrings, that split. So this is a little more advanced when you're doing it like that. So you wanna kind of keep your foot turned out. If you can't, you can get on your knees and get that stretch in. For less and less advanced, let me just show you how you would start this out. You would start it on your knees and start bringing this out as much as you could. And then you might want to go here and flat out. And then you see, as you stretch, the more you stretch, then you push over. And then from there, I get more into the groin area. So I would do what they known as a Chinese split to go all the way out. Because you know, if you can do a Chinese split, then just now what I did, almost the American split is light. So I get on these because I stretch all of that, because usually I do legs twice a week, but some routines I got, besides my 2 days of legs, I would also hit my legs too. I got squats in those routines. So sometimes I'm hitting my legs more than twice a week, but twice a week I focus solely on the legs. So I would go down, just hold this position here, do your little bounce for the dynamic. Then I would get up. This is light. This is just a quick stretch that I get into, trying to hit every part. Then it's my wrist. Like I said, I have an injury on the left wrist, and it's from muscle ups. I can't stop. I want to stop doing muscle ups, but I just can't. I'm addicted to working out. I really should be taking a rest, but I can't. So don't be like me, guys. If you're injured, rest. And I'm a hypocrite for telling you to rest, but I can't. So it's easy for me to say, if you're injured, rest. Is it a crazy injury? No. I just feel a little pain, and I know that it may be best. So I'm looking to take a good 2 to 3 weeks off, but I be afraid to lose my high reps, the get back and things like that. So I usually stretch my wrist just like this, regular stretching. Regular. You ain't got to go too hard. Just warm it up. And then there's one I do while I'm on the floor. And this is just pre-workout. I would get in this position here. Put my arms backwards, my hands facing me. And then I'll lock them out. And then I'll try to sit on my heels without lifting my palms up. Now you're going to feel it all in your wrists and your forearms. And then last but not least, I get over here to the pull-up bar, and I always dead hang. I always dead hang before I start doing pull-ups. Dead hang, I'll do a little swinging, meaning just twisting around. Sometimes scapular pull-ups. Those, just hanging, just get in the feel before I do anything. There's some days where I lack time, in which I get in, I try to hit the shoulders as fast as possible, jump straight up on a pull-up bar, especially if I'm lacking time. And that's why I love these 5 MDs that these guys created. 5-minute drills, 50 push-ups, 100 pull-ups. Zeph's bareback routine, 60 push-ups, 30 pull-ups, 15 minutes, the beast mode requirements. Those are essential for guys like me. Why? Because when you're ripping and running, full-time YouTuber, doing this full-time job, and like my man Bam, full-time student, you don't have time to really be in the gym as much as you want. So you get those quick 15-minute routines in, and then you gotta also remember, I'm working on planche, front lever, handstand, so that requires a lot of time. So guys, thanks for tuning in. That was just how I stretch, usually before a workout. Stay tuned, stay ripped.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of flesh